Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Nimpulse Plays, where today we are going to be playing some Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition. After however many years it's been since the original came out, they have very recently introduced the Ultra Deluxe Edition with new content and new endings. I played probably about one playthrough of the original back when it came out, and it was fairly bare bones at that point, but I appreciated what they were trying to do, so I figured I'd give the Ultra Deluxe Edition the same benefit of the doubt. Turn down the audio just a smidge so we're not inundated with the sounds of office work. So I recall there wasn't much in the way of audio previously, but I guess we'll find out. Never the end is never the end is never the end is loading.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Hi, Stanley.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year.
But does it pay well?
Might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Ah, good for Stanley.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
And now I'm in control. I guess Stanley came to the office during COVID time. Anybody in? It's 49, we're 47, 48. Does Nate open?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I mean, yeah, I'm looking pretty hard. Oh, this. Oh, I just wanted to. I wanted to see what was on the monitor, but I turned it off. Oh no. 430, 437. Why do some of us get like rooms and some of us? I mean, this one's got a window. I didn't get a window. I can't even go back in. Ah, nice mountain. Ooh, what's on the monitor? It looks like like an old version of Windows. Something.exe. How to see help. I can't actually see it from here. I can't move anything either. How to see help. Winston.exe or something like that. Feel free to zoom in yourselves at home. What is this? How the mighty have fallen. Weekly monitor, looks like a newspaper clipping. Something about taxes below that. Okay. That door's closed.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it
Damn
didn't
right.
make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
That guy's playing solitaire. 4B6? Is that normal? We have like 400 and then we have like a B class. Oh, a ladder. Nice leaf. I hate Mondays. Well, you know. Oh, somebody really hated Mondays. I don't know what that says. It just says L. Alright. Another nice painting. 415. This office looks quite sinister, to be honest. Sales in this quarter, everything's going down. This does not make sense. Appears to be somebody going no and shaking their fist, and the projections just suddenly take a hit. Is this just is it just a COVID simulator way ahead of its time?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ah, what is this? Predeterminism? Both distinct hallways, but they go off in different directions. What's one of the most common things they say in like maze puzzle design for video games is that it's almost always the path on the left that is the actual way to go, but the path on the right is where the secrets are. No, we're Stanley. For this run, we're Stanley. We follow orders. Nice leaf, nice mountain. I see, much like any office, we could only afford about 4 stock photos of inspiration. Well, this is a level transition.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I'm going to confront the boss. I'm going to be like, listen, what's going on? Well, using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel on all the text. This will ensure a calm and productive work environment. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Alright. We got next one. Oh. Number of slides on this slide. Slides, charts, and slides. Classic. Alright, what's the to-do? Synergize core value expenditures. I'm not even sure what that means. Shift global market paradigm, I guess? So, who we're targeting? Monetize free-to-play. Yeah, I mean, ain't that truth. Casual mobile market, am I right? Help, I'm gonna post it. I like how you can tell the textures of this. It's just one texture. And you can tell because it's kind of flat. There's no, like, layering to some of it. So, I think that's probably just to save space so they don't have to create, like, images and have different levels for them. But this is just one texture that's been applied to the top of a whiteboard. Or to the top of this, like, model. Why would you stick, like, a multi-page report on there? Anyway. What do people want? Things. Violet James, you are fired. What does that say? Happy feelings. People don't want that. Money, more money. Yep. Things, but with money to buy more things. Graphs. Graphs about things and money. We have our new product. We got them. People. Stock market is somewhere here. Coloured in segments, stripes. Requires more secondary research. What could the stripes mean? What is hot? Profits, profits, profits. Target demographic, teenagers. I mean, rate at which charts on the same slide depict the same information. You got a line chart, you got a bar chart, you got a Venn. Please no more charts, please, I'm begging you. The Boss Appreciation Minute. On your Boss Appreciation Minute worksheet, circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Fill out in triplicate and return to your Boss Appreciation Specialist. If you ever find yourself in conflict with another diligent employee, like your self, but more inclined towards conflict unless you're the kind of person who initiates conflict, what are your dreams for the future? Plant life. Plant life. Clear skin, spring break, hope, comatose. Mitosis, a boat. Tips for not getting fired. Talk less. Do unbelievably amazing work all the time every day with no recognition of promotion or recognition. Don't get fired. It's really just the third one. How to solve dispute. Let it ball up inside of you. Take it out passive-aggressively. Resent co-workers for not supporting you more. Oh, God. Alright, well, this is sad to look at, so I'm just going to stop. Bi-quarterly post-review review. We need hopeless reviews? 402 plus 405 want to get rid of the death sport portion of the primary. Death sport? What is happening? Teenagers, size of demographic, space between the teenagers, a lot of percent. Throw something in the ideas bin. One, no more bins. No more bins, trash cans. Renaming of the ideas bin, firing of me. At least it's recyclable. I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers, more water cooler heaters. Charts need to be more hip to appeal to teenage demographics. Find teenagers to put in teenage demographic big net. So whatever this company does, we desperately want it to appeal to teenagers, and we desperately want to make a profit. But we also all absolutely hate each other. Push for the funding of R&D for a new coffee machine. I mean, that's... Do we make coffee machines? What was that? Stand or die? Stand or dice? Or standardized. There we go, that makes sense. Standardized graphics. Or graphs. 40% wide. Get Chris out of the broom closet. That one should be more important. Synergize papers. Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire the paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizing guy who moved my desk. Please keep the targets of the topic to blah 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 blah. I'm assuming it was one thing and then it got changed. The future was yesterday, tomorrow is now. But when is the present? Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write next day's agenda. Reflect. That's just every day, yeah. Every day, yeah. Meeting room, floor XX. Weekly targets, marketing Monday. Termination Tuesday. We're broke Wednesday. No Thursday plan? Is Thursday the... Thursday's just Thursday merger, I guess. Pranking floors meeting. What to do about 432. I'm not 432, am I? I can't remember. I think I'm like 438 or something, I don't know. Cabal planning? Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. Rip Franz. Well, I don't know who the whiteboard manager is, but 9 to 4 days, not bad. Alright, well, time to advance the plot. Broom closet. Chris, get out of there!
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Right you are, narrator.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Understood. We do as the narrator guides. Interesting that there's no, like, lobby. It's just a direct stairwell to the office. Is this the office? Executive bathroom. Ah. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Well, this is concerning. I'm glad to see they all use Purell like the rest of us, though. Why does the magazine make a keyboard noise? Extreme bathrooms. Rate and I can't. Never mind. I'm just going to ignore it. Doors I go past close behind me. Alright, so that's the boss's office then. Let's just have a quick ganders in the desk. The beige pages. Not to be confused with the yellow pages, which I guess is copyright. Business time. It's my favourite Flight of the Conchords song. Keyboard doesn't turn on. Alright. Let's go see our boss. Let's go see what this shit is about.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Look at the size of this place.
Unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Oh no, it's metagaming. 2845. But how would I know that? Is there a different way? Can I... This piano is awfully keyboardy.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
No way I could have known it, in fairness. You know, the narrator says I don't know it, so I don't know it.
2845.
Absolutely no way. I guess, really, I should just leave. Well, I can't leave. What about these books? They're kind of layered, I guess. Nice fireplace.
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in.
Oh,
and
good.
The door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Oh, that's great. Mr. Manager? Where has everybody gone? I appreciate the linearity of the game and where you can choose to go with it, and how the narrator just gets
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar.
Increasingly frustrated.
It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Why do I feel this way?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
But there's another door that says escape. But I follow what Stanley follows orders. Well, there's a big button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Yeah, why not? What did you do with your day? You know, we all got in late because there was an off-site meeting. What did you do, Stanley? I found out we had a mind control room.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
What's going on over there? Oh. Some of them are fired, so I guess really we should start rotating those out, you know? It's the one up there that's kind of like corrupted. 2, 3, 4, I guess? I don't know. What does this do?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I saw the word pirate. It's just up there at the top. Pirate! So, but there's a pirate employee, I guess, which is nice to know.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
It's kind of possible. Like, I'm not, you know...
That was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Tear this shit down! What is this? Mind controls idle, awaiting input. System power off! Is that... Oh.
And a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness.
Stanley
Perhaps
is
his goal
free.
had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
What if I want to go back? Another time.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Yay! Best ending. Or at least one of them. There you go, got 2 achievements. Beat the game, get your first achievement. But if the achievement that I got first was get your first achievement, how does that work? Alright, now we're no longer Stanley. Now we're us.
Gone. What could it mean?
And we're
Stanley
gonna
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
we're gonna start doing things different. Sussing stuff out, solving this mystery. We're not gonna be friends with the narrator.
When
Door on the
Stanley
left,
came
is
to a
it?
set of 2 open
Absolutely
doors,
not.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Building inside this place seems weird. Yes.
Truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Honestly, I like it. This whole level system thing probably isn't like work approved anymore, but
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
they are
Really
nice
worth it.
chairs. I mean, look at that. You get the sense that they at least were all bought in bulk from
At this point,
IKEA.
Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality.
They
It's
are just
possible that
really
this is
nice
why
chairs.
everyone left.
Fuel. I get it, because coffee is fuel. What time is it? They're about 10ish.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
But wasn't that dialogue? So wouldn't that count? Is there going to be any more dialogue? I just imagine I bring around my keyboard wherever I go, just looking down. I can't jump. I didn't intend to jump. I got an achievement saying you can't jump. I wasn't trying to. Unless it was me pointing at the window. In which case that's very dark. Alright, I'm going to assume no more dialogue.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room.
I don't want to go back,
the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Yeah, I guess I could. Ooh, where does that go, actually? That looks new. What about this door, though? What's in this? The architect's room?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop. Oh, it's a caution, though, so it's not, you know, be careful about it. Wow, this place is huge. Oh, the lights are on. There's somebody waiting to go. Hey, buddy. You alive? You got the rest of the employees in the back?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Who's her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Who is her? Is it this door you want me to go through? Alright, let's find out who her is. Ah!
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
I'm gonna do it, narrator. Hello, hello.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
Ah, fresh bread.
Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Oh my god, I've just been roasted by a video game. What do I do now? This game just fucking boomed me.
But you're in my story now.
Oh no. Oh no, what do I do? Hey, wife.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
The death? Good morning, employee 427. Press U on your keyboard. Uh-huh. Honey, I think we're in trouble.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Oh. I press R.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
I'll press X.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
I think I'll go watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Oh no. Oh, spend time at hell, yeah.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Yeah, I'll prepare dinner. Where's that bread?
As he wandered through
Ah.
this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls.
Oh yeah, done that
Down
one.
another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions.
I don't know about
Down
that one.
another was a game with a baby.
Excuse
he
me?
called it the Stanley Parable.
Oh, great.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Look, we've known each other a long time. I think it's time we take the next step. I love you, mannequin wife.
But there is no answer.
Ah.
How could there possibly be? In
Where did my
reality,
wife
all
go?
he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
I miss my wife. I'll go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
We had mixed messages. I don't know what to do. I think the narrator, in some respects, absolutely cannot be trusted. So I am going to push the button.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Yeah, I'll question nothing.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again.
And
Stanley
any button?
pushed a button. And I tried.
It's not often that a video game just tells you to straight up die. And then it ends. Alright, let's try something new and hopefully more light-hearted.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What happened to my mannequin wife? New content? Excuse me?
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
I assume it means, you know, the Ultra Deluxe part of the game. Ah, it's very dark.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Yeah, it's good.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
That's the game I'm playing now.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Me too.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
The elevator's going to go somewhere, isn't it?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere? Oh, there we go.
Oh,
All right,
yep, there we go.
finally,
Yep.
At long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Let's go! New content!
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if...
There's a lot of elevator.
Oh, okay, let's see the
Oh, here we go.
content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Let's go. Currently it's big open room. New content. The jump circle. Alright.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
I can jump now? Oh my god! I can jump! Oh, God, I feel it in my legs. Alright, well this is I'm a jumping. Can I double jump? No. Can I crouch jump? I can, but I don't actually move. I did it. Oh, I can't jump anymore. I can still crouch though, so we're all good. Alright, well,
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
yeah, well, elevator again, so that's good.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
The narrator would make a very good Let's Player. Just immediately ready to be done with this game. Thank you for enjoying the new content. Alright.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
Yeah.
It's my fault, Stanley.
Send them
I
Twitter
built up
messages.
Too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always.
What about that time that
What do you say, friend?
you killed me? That's different. Because that's the normal start to the game. But where the heck are we? I'm just going to assume that if a door's closed,
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
The vent? Alright. Coffee nut with a screwdriver? That's gonna hurt. Ow. Is the narrator trapped in the vent?
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Pulling back the curtain. Did you make like a Dark Souls game? What is this? Ah,
I
narrator.
call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Ah, that was back in 2013.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
And then that's the end of the game. Stanley Parable, the Indie Box Collector's Edition. The 2014 Independent Games Festival Audience Award. A BAFTA for The Last of Us, which appears to have been renamed to the Stanley Parable. Got our own little gift shop, little card selection. I remember 2013. I think we all remember 2013 a bit more fondly now. Especially after 2016. Got an alarm clock. My first kiss, my first car, the release of the Stanley Parable in 2013. Some of these are going to be absolutely great wallpapers. Smile because it happened. It was the one above Stanley Parable. Al something, always great. The first dollar bill, the first bill they made, I guess. It's the demo of it. The classic achievement from the original game. If you don't play the game for 5 years, you get that achievement. Unachievable. It is impossible to get this achievement. I don't know if that was real, but it wouldn't surprise me. They were a nominee for the BAFTAs for 2014. Debut game, game innovation, story. Yeah, fair enough. Is that Stanley? Stanley Parable deals tough choices from the Los Angeles Times. That was nice. What's over here? In loving memory of little Stanley. Ah, little Stanley a hamster. How sweet. What's over here?
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created.
Who needs
That's
other games?
How grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore.
What is
It's
it?
just a husk now.
Oh no.
A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
I bet there's a Skyrim mod now that is going to have Persona 3 elements in it. Just to keep it going. ModDB 2012 Interaction Award, BigSushi.fm. Always, you have to trust any place called Big Sushi FM when it comes to video game awards. Design Museum Design of the Year Award. A nominee, IGF 2013 Nuevo? Honorable mention. Fantastic Arcade, Indiecade, IGF. Yeah, fair enough. Go down and we can do it. Buy on Steam, Stanley Parable. Those are the buttons from the mind control area. That's Stanley, I guess. This looks like... I'm guessing like the engine that they built it in, so maybe like Unreal, or... If it's Unity, it looks to be quite old, but it was 2013, so it makes sense. Those are the main characters. And then we got the first choice, and we got the base game. We got mind control room, don't know what that is. That's Stanley. Begin again, something. About Minecraft for some reason, alright. It's that first choice, mind control, manager's office. Don't know what that is. That's Portal. What's down here? Like an interrogation room. That first bit of the office. Cool. What's that? Blue door, red door? Got a car. That somebody playing Stanley Parable on a Mac in Stanley Parable. Like a collector's edition, I guess. Your number is 29. The end is never, the end is never, the end is never loading. Oh.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything.
Well, it was 9 out of 10. It was almost perfect.
New content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Yeah, why did they make DLC? The game was perfect, I agree. Preparing snake oil salesman routine. Are these all legitimate parts of the game? Wait, I can't get by. I can't get through that one. There's boxes in the way. That's the serious room. What's in the serious room? Alright, it's fine, never mind. Did I feel like that door opened, but I can't actually get through to it, so I guess I'll go this way.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
We can still have it that way.
Hang on.
Yeah.
I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Oh no. Is it going to be the bad reviews?
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam.
Oh
the
no.
online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Maybe. Maybe they weren't, though.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
It's remarkably... I like, for DLC, I was expecting more of the same. This is inherently not more of the same. Oh, that one's recommended. That's not too bad. Oh, not recommended.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can.
No, you're fine. No, it's Noodle Shaft that's right. I mean wrong.
I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear.
Oh.
What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record.
I mean, you gotta take the good with the bad.
Like a failure. Like I let these people down.
No.
Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
It was alright. There's worse games. Just look at Cyberpunk.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Alright.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people, and if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices.
The stories
are
and
what
the choices.
and
what
therefore,
have-
by becoming it
therefore,
is. So on and
indeed.
so forth. Until inevitably, we all until the end
I
of
agree.
time. At which time, everything all at once.
I wonder how long it
now
goes for.
see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction...
Okay, I'm doing it because the narrator wanted me to do it. I would feel bad if,
You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations.
Oh, I kinda miss
Not
it
that,
now.
Of course, you need a description of
You were
it,
talking about
but if I were
food.
To describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto.
a précis, perhaps?
Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly. And you can tell me what
Yeah,
you
I want to hear
think.
this.
Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice.
I think that's a
That is to
given.
say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time a monument to every person you've ever been, making every choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time.
Isn't that what, like,
by
stoicism
virtue
is?
of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it.
I don't know.
Wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel.
Manifesto
It's rich
suggests,
with
like, a
ambition and
plan,
history.
though.
Ambitious history, if you will. Ah. See, now you've got me going back to manifesto.
I don't think this is a
Heavens, at
plan,
this rate,
though.
We're
You-
going to be here all day. Okay, look. I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the other, in which case the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley. It's rescued me from disaster in countless situations.
That sounds like a good plan.
All right, here we go.
The manifesto treatise.
Treatise.
Yeah.
Manifesto. Treatise. Manifesto. Treatise. Manifesto. Treatise. Manifesto. Treatise. Manifesto. Treatise.
So,
Manifesto. Treatise.
I think treatise
Manifesto.
probably makes more sense.
Treatise.
Manifesto, like,
Treatise.
the two questions that he
Manifesto.
posed don't
treatise,
suggest to me
manifesto,
a plan
treatise,
as much as they are
manifesto,
just a consideration.
manifesto, treatise, manifesto.
I feel the game is
treatise,
intending to get me to skip
manifesto,
here, so I will.
Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should.
I think you can edit it,
on
right?
Exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review, so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game.
Yeah.
Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
Oh.
How else to describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolutionary step forward in the lineage of one of the most beloved video game properties of all time.
I mean, it's alright.
Additions and changes made to this expansion will surely resonate in the annals of the history of all media.
I think that might be overstating it a bit.
Perhaps true to say that no mistakes are forever etched in stone, for the stone into which the Stanley Parable was carved has itself been transmuted, offering a message of hope to those who have ever erred in their judgment. You are not beyond redemption.
That's a good
You may
message.
change, and you may become more, so much more than you were before. If there is any message to be taken from the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, it is this. What a fortune, a privilege, a joy it is to have had such an experience. It leaves me hopeful that as a community, as a world, there is time for us to become our greatest selves, as great as we ever could dream of in our wildest, most ambitious visions for a brighter future.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, Stanley, that's a review.
Cookie 7, get on it, you know?
It's the perfect review. It's the review I've always dreamed of receiving. I have to read it again. It's simply too wonderful. I have to experience this just one more time.
Alright, well, I think we can...
From the ashes...
Yep.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait. How do we get out of here?
Or under the door.
Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room?
Yeah, it was right here.
I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A
There's
porthole?
a ladder.
A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on.
There's a
and to
vent.
Please step away from the skip button to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through?
I'll give it a go.
Is there any possibility
Nope.
that you could, say, slam your body into
Alright.
the wall until
Nope.
enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door.
Alright, you
I
do
don't
that.
know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back.
Alright. And now I guess we just wait. And we see if this game has a Far Cry option. Where if we genuinely just wait, something happens. If nothing happens, I'll probably just fast forward. Alright, I don't think there is anything we can do. Skip.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
I would have been here for 12
You've
hours?
just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why
Right
would
now.
you? Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here.
What happened
not
to
a
the
single
tree?
person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing.
I mean, yeah.
Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It
Oh?
isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in.
All right,
These
see you in a bit.
words that Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome.
Is there a way out yet?
I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much
No door.
time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost
Alright,
it
let's see
all
how you
in
feel
a
next time.
blur of the
Narrator? Buddy? What? Alright, well, the clock stopped. That's probably not a good sign. Maybe the batteries ran out. And the tree is most definitely dead. Is that... Oh, it's the fire alarm battery. Can I get up and... No. There was a ladder, but the clock's still broken.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First,
Oh,
he
I'm
didn't
go- I'm
entertain
gonna
us,
let-
now he
I'm
won't
gonna
shut
go.
up. It's the inconsistency. It's the
gonna
lack
let
of
them-
accountability.
let them
It's
just get through this.
unwillingness to...
We good? There's a bit of a leak somewhere. Let's just see if that leak becomes a problem after a skip.
The end is never the end, 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 is never.
I don't feel the skip button is helping the narrator in any way. However, it does suggest to me that they were never going to find that door. Oh, there's a big leak there. I wonder if maybe that'll collapse and we'll find our way out. There's only one way to find out. Oh, well, it did collapse. But, just not in a way that really helps us. So that's a bit awkward. Alright, well, Oh, bright! We have daylight. Nice. Really breathe some life into the room, you know? Maybe I can call for help? Maybe everybody's dead? Oh, nice, fresh. The birds are out. Clearly the world is surviving. It's only getting better from here. Ooh. Ooh, it didn't get better. Alright, maybe that was just a one-off. It's, now the world is screaming at us. Let's keep going. Oh, the button fell out. Alright. Ooh, everything's a bit on kilter. There is an exit. Ooh. I don't think this is the memory zone anymore. Don't think. I'm just gonna see if the button still works. Nope. Well, looks like it's time to play a different game. Where is civilization? Follow the sun, I guess. At least we're going east. And we're back at the start.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What could it
Stanley
mean?
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Surname access? I don't know what that is. Ooh. Brand new neon sign, new
Good.
content.
You noticed my sign?
Yeah.
Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Is it that we made our way out after that, like, desert trip? How many Stanleys are there, narrator?
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be.
That's all right.
The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh. Brand new sequel. Is it the same? The end is never the end again. 427.
Yes,
Oh.
you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
All right, fair enough.
calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
I see, not all of it's set up just quite right. I think we might need to full screen that one. Ah, off-painting DTGA. Nice. Classic cabinets. Big open doors, a nice little space. The 2 doors are back. Good, good, good. New content is out. New content part 2 is in. Old and busted new content. Welcome the new hotness content. Boring sections of the chart, now a cool red section of the chart. More TSB, the Stanley Parable. Better TSP. It's a win-win scenario. Sequential mind share. 2 is better than 1. Paradigm shift, synergy, brick and mortar approach, envelope client-centric marketing. The color red, leverage holistic value. 1, then 2. Now, what is this? The PowerPoint? Alright, so how do they do the logo? So they could do the Stanley Parable, they could do the Stanley Parable in the Last of Us format. They could do the Stanley Parable as like a Downton Abbey. They could do the Stanley Parable as more of a modernist approach, I guess. Stanley Parable like Metal Gear Solid, where they try to put it into the title. Interesting. Yeah. Can I advance the PowerPoint? No? Okay.
Now,
self-opening
to be clear,
doors, though.
I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be.
It's going to be
Let's
better.
take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Sequels are good. Portal 2, Half-Life 2, Batman Arkham Asylum 2, which was Arkham City, Divinity Original Sin 2, Doom 2, Aladdin 2, Return of Jafar, Aladdin 2. You had me on the rest of them. Maybe a little bit, on Arkham City, but Aladdin 2, Return of Jafar, the one where they couldn't even get Robin Williams back, and so they got Dan Castellaneta, the voice of Homer Simpson, to play the genie. Dark Souls 2. I agree with Dark Souls 2. I think Bloodborne is technically the best of the Soulsborne, but crap, the ultimate sequel. Nice. The Stanley Parable, If they ever do a sequel, they are prepared. This way to the show floor. Nice. New features. New content. Got the whole press tour lined up. Wow, look at this.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Okay.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
All right. I mean, we're hoping for Nim or Nimpulse.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim.
Honestly,
Of course, in the final
2/3
game,
of the
this
way
button
towards the
will
right
say
answer
your
anyway.
Name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just
Alright.
play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay,
Hey, what up?
here we go. Let's take a deep
Everyone,
breath,
my name is
clear your mind,
Jim
forget
Pulse,
whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
but you can just call me
I
Jim.
want you to imagine yourself living as Jim. sleeping and waking as Jim.
Jim.
Whoa, hold on.
There you go,
I wasn't
there you go.
finished setting up the backstory. If
Oh,
you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button.
It's true, I can never
Otherwise,
understand what
just
it's like to be
a stupid
Jim.
button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim.
Done.
Jim.
All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
Accepted postering that. Nice. Alright, so that's the Jim button. Let's see what else Stanley Parable 2 has to offer us.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable 2. They would appreciate what I've created here.
Whole new office. Red is the new orange. New updated, ray-traced, more of the same but in a good way sequel to the something. Looks good. New features, new contents, new ideas. The button that says the name of the player that's playing the game. Jump Circle. We've already done Jump Circle, so that's fine. New and easy to get achievement. Ooh. Collectibles as well. I think we may have missed Infinite Hole. That's one of the games we missed. Jump Circle.
You know what? Let's bring the Jump Circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the Jump Circle?
I did.
Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
Can you give me more jumps? No? Alright. What's in the Infinite Hole? Oh, is there something over here? What's this?
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Yeah, well, someday I think is a message we can all go towards.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along.
Oh.
Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
I see. Well, now I know. Now I know how the narrator feels.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No.
No, really?
No, I've made my decision.
Okay,
We're
no, yeah,
moving
fine.
on.
What's we got going on here? Time and depth. A hole like infinity. Opening the rim. The depth is infinite. Infinite hole chart. There's a hole, there's depth, there's space, there's more hole, there's something, there's science, there's infinity, there's more, and then there's falling. Educational use only. Just keep going. It's got a loop in it. Nice. Is
Stanley, here's an
the
idea
hole?
that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Well, what's at the bottom of it? Nothing? Yeah, alright, let's test it out. I'm waiting to hear the
You
loop.
see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
What if there's, like, a bottom, though?
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
The noise suggests that there might be a bottom, though.
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole.
So there is a
Is
bottom.
it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it Infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective,
Does it have an
the
end?
infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a...
Oh,
Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
you're right. I do have a fascination
Look,
with
things got a little
infinite
heated
holes,
there. I
and
think
you
we both
lied to
said
me.
some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Look, I'll be honest, I'm very
Great.
disappointed.
Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Alright, but, you know, we're talking at like a max of a 9 out of 10 at this point. If you say the hole's infinite, it's gotta be infinite. Put some, like, recursion in there. Put some kind of just a loop in there. Is it, if you hollowed out a donut and just had it go around, like, put something in there, put like a ball in it, had it go around and around and around, then it would be infinite, you know? What is this?
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Wow, that's... I both hate and love that at the same time. Collectibles that effectively mean nothing. Can I see one of them? Can I move closer? It's very dark in here. Where do I go? Am I moving close? I think I might be. That's a lot of bodies that are around that. Right. So what, it's like a Fallout bobblehead? Nice. I've got to find the other 5 now.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
I assume they're in this area. They're going to be in the merch section? Maybe? Y'all selling any bobbleheads over here? I don't think so. Button that says Jim. Yeah, it doesn't say the player name. Unless your name is Jim. Alright. Let's go get that achievement, I guess. Nice and easy. What's that? Stanley holding up a trophy of some sort? Get yours right now. Pull the lever, receive your new achievement, no more steps. It just works. Get yours now.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
Alright, let's pull the lever.
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
I want the achievement. Alright, well. Free achievement sounds good. I think if you're releasing a whole sequel, you're probably going to want a few more in there anyway.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
I think we've seen... There's the Epilogue. So we've done, what? Jump Circle we've done, Free Achievement we've done, Gym Button we've said done, Merch we've seen, Settings World Champion? What's that? Collectibles. Where am I? Settings World Champion. And there's much. So I need to go around there and then it's on the left? Here we go. Ah, no, this was... I see. They're all the happy 12th birthday. Yeah, okay. So that one's done. Jump circle's done. Is it above? Is that why... What's this? That's new. Yeah, let's have a look at that. That's new. What's going on in here? Oh, it's the epilogue. The reassurance bucket. I feel we have to look at the reassurance bucket. Let's... Oh, settings world champion there. Let's do that first. I can't get in. Do I need to go to the settings? Hold left and right mouse buttons to walk. Can't help but feel that I guess we can make them large subtiles. I've changed settings. Does that? No. Okay. Well, I guess we can't look at that one. Let's go check on the bucket, I guess. Bucket reassurance. I wonder what it does.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket.
Oh, there it
You see,
is.
Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms.
Give me the bucket, give me the bucket, give me the bucket.
It's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Bucket!
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even
Well, let
in
me
the
leave.
face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Oh, you think so?
I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Oh!
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Bring it with me. Alright. Let's take the bucket on all of
Does
our
anyone
adventures.
give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game?
They should.
That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Yeah, I can even let the balloon thing go. Right, well, that's Infinite Hole. That's achievement, which we can't get. Is there anything else we got? Settings World Champion, no. Reassurance Bucket, yes. Office Decoration, yes. Epilogue. The epilogue was quite short, but I think we've seen it. Collectibles, Infinite Hole, exit. I think we're done. What else is there? Epilogue was the only one that was really kind of, I have no idea where we're going. I think it was over here. Enjoy the new features.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley?
It would.
Yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Alright, well, we got the bucket, so it's all good. I guess now that we've done almost everything, we can try the settings World Master again. World Champion. Come in. Let me in. Let me in. I want to change my settings. Alright, fair. Alright. I think we're done. Where do we go now? What do we do? Where's the exit? The exit is... So I am there. I guess I'm looking at that wall. So the exit is this way? Ah, there we go. Exit over there. Happy about this bucket, though. It's going to carry me through all my adventures.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready
I think
to
so.
move on now?
Yeah. What's that, a bag? Can I interact with the bag? No? Okay. That's me, that's Stanley. It's a cool graphic. What's this?
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes,
Yeah,
I
they're
know
alright.
It's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together.
I'm easygoing,
as
in
one
fairness.
single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement.
They're just kind of features, I guess.
Yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we
Yeah.
go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work?
Isn't that just the Ultra Deluxe edition?
But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Ooh. Stanley Parable 2. We do like the color red, and we've even got like a slight hill. Yeah, alright.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Uh-huh.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building.
See, we got
where
those
he
Mises
was
balloons up.
Employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what Employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
Classic intro.
Stanley was happy.
But then...
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
All right, it's going well so far. I like the
All of
balloons.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I feel they've made a
Stanley decided
big
to go to
addition.
the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed
They
a
are
memo.
also everywhere. So it must have been one hell of a party for that. Oh, the bucket, right.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
That was a close one. Almost forgot the bucket. The bucket of reassurance. Let's go this way.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
You know what, I will. You know, we're demo testing somebody's game. Let's try to treat it with respect the first time. Well, the voice line didn't.
Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
All right. Oh, the broom closet, though.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket?
Yeah.
Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well,
Fuck you, broom closet.
Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety
Me and the
of
bucket are best
experiences
friends.
you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point.
All right.
Share your journal entries
So it
detailing the
started
rich emotional landscape of your
when we
feelings for
met.
the bucket, as they have changed and evolved
It's still
over the
going.
years. Let him have it.
I just did. Fuck you.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help. Coming to a staircase,
Oh.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
All right. What up, boss? I'm back. Where's that mind control? Oh, collectible, nice.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
I will. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. Alright, fair enough. Still the beige pages. Indeed, indeed.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire,
Unless.
if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
There you go.
Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
I could take a guess.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by
There you
sheer
go.
luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Praise be to the bucket. Ah, collectible! No! I'm livid.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Praise be the bucket.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Probably nothing. Probably fine. I wouldn't worry about it. And you know why I'm not going to worry about it? The bucket.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock.
Nearly.
Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
It's okay, bucket. We've all seen this before. It's fine.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's
What?
influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
It's okay, bucket. We'll find out together.
He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
You'll always be here for me, bucket.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way. And the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Fuck the system. I agree, bucket. Let's go.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it.
We've done it, bucket.
Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate.
Oh, nice.
Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth.
That's a bit
Both
weirder.
of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end.
Oh, Memento.
True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support.
Was the door stuck?
Wait, what was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face.
You don't want to leave, do you,
This
bucket?
building did not want the bucket to leave.
Ah,
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming
No.
presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Bucket. Is Bucket still
Stanley
here?
had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Oh, what's this? Meeting today, figurine finders committee. Oh, the bucket, nice. Oh, if I take the bucket though, am I just gonna still do what if I take the bucket and I do a bad run?
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Let's be a rebellious bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Hell yeah,
And
look
here
at
it
this.
was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room?
Yeah.
Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Nice.
No, never mind.
No, I didn't mean to.
The bucket was wrong.
No, I
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
no, I enjoyed it. I just we have been there. Look, I appreciate Bucket that you were trying to tell me it was good, and I agree with you.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
All right.
Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
I
Stanley
understand
did not
Bucket, but
question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk.
oh, of course,
But
yeah.
Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
You know what? Fair enough.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
It's not that
Stanley
dark.
once again obeyed
All right.
blindly.
Oh, this dark room. This is quite dark. Yeah. Oh,
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
yeah, sure. You can meet my mannequin wife.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Bucket, I'm home. Are you watching? No, not watching anything? You alright, Bucket? Hello, Stanley. It's me, your Bucket. Press B to take me to work with you. I just came home from work. Alright.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow
Where's my
of
bucket?
companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders.
Oh, it's on my desk, okay.
Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Press U to take me back home with you.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him
Bucket?
delusional like this,
Oh.
obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Press O to go back to work.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man. Press Y for us to go back home.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Press N to ignore anyone in your life except for me.
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine.
See? It's a good bucket. You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press U to go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket.
Yeah.
It's just a little more,
Oh, yeah, it's got a bit of energy to it. Yeah.
More capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Cut above the rest. Press C to relive this same day with me over and over.
Oh my god, what am I saying?
Hey, bucket.
Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Press L to go home to work, to home to work, to work to home to press L.
Oh no, I'm having feelings for the bucket. No,
Ooh.
no. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Bucket will be our friend.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket,
The
Stanley.
bucket is mine.
I need it. Give it to me now. Give it, or I'll...
But I want the bucket. Where is bucket?
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit.
No,
Was
none
it
of
a
that.
sign
Where
of
is
something?
bucket?
He hoped it was.
Bucket.
He hoped the confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Good old bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
I agree,
And
bucket.
here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How
We have
insightful the
places to be,
turned-
Bucket.
No, never mind.
We have places
The
to
bucket
be.
was wrong.
Yes.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the
Except
lift
what
all
we're
the way
going
to
to
the
do
top. There's something up there I need you to do.
It's we're not going to
Stanley did
go.
not question why or how
to the
this
meeting
bucket was
room.
speaking to him.
We're
It
going
should
to
have
go
alarmed him, of course,
here.
because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious.
We're making our own way, bucket.
He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly.
We're
did
ignoring
whatever
the narrator.
bucket- No,
We're
stop.
pushing. No.
Up there on the wall, you see, there's a sign right there. It says "No buckets past this point."
What?
Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it.
Let me out.
This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Don't take my bucket from me. Oh.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
Bucket.
Is this a bucket?
It's a bucket.
Incorrect.
What?
It is a hologram of a bucket, not an
What?
actual bucket.
All right. Well, yeah. Next question.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
That's a bucket.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
It looks like a bucket. It's got kind of like a steel or maybe like a tin body. It's got like a handle with a looks to be almost like a cork handle maybe. And it looks like it has some depth. So it's probably not a hologram. I'm gonna go yes. Yes, bucket.
Correct. This is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one.
That's another tractor.
Is this a bucket?
Is there a bucket in there though?
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
What? How is that? Alright.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
It both is and isn't a bucket?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
No. Nothingness is not a bucket.
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait,
Yeah.
when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless... Is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
I don't know what I believe anymore. All I know is everyone would be happier if they had a bucket.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
No.
Okay, here we go. What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear?
Everything
Wait,
was a bucket!
Was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket.
I knew it!
Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all.
That
And
means
you,
I'm not a
Stanley,
bucket.
You're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Praise be the bucket.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Bucket brings warmth. There will be a reward for finding them all. Interesting. Trust the completionist instinct. How can you tell you spotted one? What makes them float in the air? Who took these pictures of them? Figures are hard to find. Follow clues provided by employee 416. We can do it. Red room. Thank you. Good luck. Look, I've had a lot of time to talk.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It
No,
wants the
wait, never
bucket.
mind.
You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy coming
I'm gonna
from
go downstairs.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
The red room. The red room is where there is a
Another miniature
collectible.
Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Classic Stanley Reen.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just
What?
a normal, everyday bucket.
No.
Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly
You're an
wrong.
imposter
Surely
bucket.
No good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground.
What?
Oh, gracious,
Oh, no.
he exclaimed. Without
No, the
my
grounding in the
I've
bucket.
gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard
Where's Bucket?
calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
I'm coming for you, Bucket.
Could he be? He rushed
Huh?
forward from room to
No.
room, passing by one bucket
no.
after the next.
No,
None
no.
of them were his. None of them were his special
Where's my
bucket.
bucket?
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
Is that
He
you
had
on the
to
car?
find the
No.
bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly
Where are you,
restore
Bucket?
his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming. to
Where's my
himself,
bucket?
And then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place.
No!
How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Oh my god. Nice. Alrighty. And I think for there, we're going to call it for this lengthy part, session, whatever, of the Stanley Parable. There's evidently more to explore in this game, in that we're playing the sequel within the game, within the remaster, within the new content. So I may in fact be back for this in short order. But for now, we're at like 2 hours. So I shall see you all in the next one. Bye for now.